This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster, Clayton John, Chris Adamek, Maeve Dartinez, and Pierre Delecto. Now, on to the show. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. If you aren't expecting adult language, why even bother listening? Welcome, my friends, to the show never ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Pat McDonald.
I'm Truman, and it's episode 404, a 2-for-1, but it's one with a W. See, there's a W. It's called a pun.
And it's a 2 with a W, too.
We're doing 2 for Tuesday.
Yes.
Literally 2 for Tuesday. For you patrons, we're also going to be recording a special patron-only episode that has nothing to do with the Red Bulls, but Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2, just backing up the coincidences here. That will be available later this week, but we will be recording tonight.
We're going to share all the feels.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the games for this week. So first, Red Bulls took on Atlanta United at home and came away with a come-from-behind 2-1 victory. And they followed it up with a very, very sloppy, dirty, whatever you want to call it, 1-0 win away at Sporting Kansas City, which probably the first time in at least a few years we've won on July 4th weekend, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Let's get into this one. We'll start with the tweets first. So, Truman, do you have those ready, or do you need me to read them off?
Oh, no, I got it. This is going to take all of 2 seconds. First game, Atlanta. Pierre Delecto said, well, he's saying, he should have burned more, he should have burned more, he should have burned more. And General Sherman, he should have burned more.
Oh, snap with the Sherman burn.
Oh, is a classic. And then for the second game, Creepy Taxi, Steven Santos said, ugly win, and Red Bull 2 fired their coach. I will take it. 2 ugly wins.
Why not?
There you go. So we start winning. No one wants to tweet us anymore. There's no rage to tweet.
No more rage.
We do have a voicemail, though. So here is, I haven't listened to it. We're pretty sure it's Pierre Delecto with yet another voicemail.
Hi, guys. How are you? Well, another game, and it was a lot of shithousery you haven't seen in a while. But look at it. You're first in the East, and that's how it should be done. And it's good that they took advantage of it, even if it's not one of the best teams on the road. You're at least still improving your road record and getting it done at home. This is the meshing of a team that is exciting. That first half wasn't, and you saw it when SKC was just banging on the doorstep of the Red Bulls. But even going down one man, they were able to fix it up. And that Aaron Long header is very much is all the reason why he's on the team of the week. That is how you win away. And and as frustrating as it kind of was seeing the time wasting, Sans card for Klamala and et cetera, and I'm not going to get into the Klamala debate this week around. I don't think an addendum to that's going to help anyone, but it was a little frustrating. But you did what you had to do to get out of there, and you get 3 points. They won 7 of their last 10 matches, and they're sitting on top of the East. I don't care what anyone has to say about, quote, beautiful football from those jackasses in the city. It's how if you can get it done, you get it done. And if it's not penalizing your team massively, or if it's even penalizing them, then you're doing your job. And that's how you get in, and that's how you get out. So it was a good week. It's exciting, and hopefully the good times keep rolling around, because I think if this holds up, maybe we evade that summer swoon. But I know when I say anything, I'll probably jinx it. But let's keep some hope. It's an exciting year so far. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys.
So yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about was the Red Bulls are officially top of the Eastern Conference with that win. I believe Montreal lost to LAFC last night, so they are sole holders of that spot. Granted, they do have, I think, let's see, Philadelphia and Montreal both have one game in hand, and New York City has two. But still, to be 19 games through this season, be top of the Eastern Conference, and within a reasonable distance of a Shield, when our own coach was basically downplaying expectations before the season started, I think he's got a point that we're in a good spot at just over the halfway mark of the season.
I'm not going to argue. Not going to argue. Nothing we expected right now.
Absolutely not.
So let's get into.
We also didn't expect the Pablo Quiñas to show up. So.
Okay.
So let's get into the likes and dislikes for these two games. So Truman, we'll start with you. What did you dislike about these two wins?
Well, you could talk about the general ugliness of most of the first game, but I'm going to beat Pat to the punch. And I have a specific reason, because I'm not specifically going to bash on Patrick Klimala. Not him specifically, but the problem is who is getting the forwards the ball. And yet again, you didn't see it in either of these games. First of all, don't get the ball to Tom Barlow. That is clearly just wasting your time. He's going to miss. But we're still not seeing clear opportunities given to the forwards. Patrick Klimala is not a guy who's going to streak down the side of the field and score. You have to get the ball on his feet and good opportunities. We're pretty sure Ashley Fletcher was supposed to be like that, but clearly that he's not really on this team anymore.
I'm pretty sure he's officially back to wherever he came from.
Yeah, so, I mean, but, I think that's a big problem, is that we're not giving the forwards the ball. Now, the good thing is the midfield's been playing so fantastic, and they're scoring all the goals, which is great. But can we find out what we can do in that inside the box, getting the forwards the ball? Hey, if they're going to shoot and fuck up, at least we know they can actually are getting the ball and then fucking up. But I want to see them get the ball more often.
I'll take on Klimala, my afterthoughts. I'll just go with my dislike, which is a very personal dislike, and it's that I got called away from the game at Atlanta, in which I did have to leave early. And at that point, it was a 0-0 slog. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting texts and hearing cheers, and I'm like, oh, cool, I just missed a really dramatic comeback. Awesome. And it was something I literally had to attend to. It was not like, whatever, but it was that was a very, very frustrating moment for me to find out what happened in the F1. And then having to wait till noon the next day before MSG Go finally uploaded the replay. And that was frustrating.
I'm pretty sure it was within 3 minutes of his message to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, he
minutes
probably didn't make that at the bottom of the steps at that point.
Yeah, bummer.
I should probably. I'm gonna see if while you talk, I'm gonna go through our messages. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna pull it up here. So you guys talk. I'm gonna find this.
Well, it's Jay's like, right, or dislike.
Dislike. My dislike is going to be the refereeing in the Sporting Kansas City match. The red card. I feel like if you have to spend 5 minutes trying to figure out a denial of obvious goal scoring opportunity, then it's clearly not that. It was a handball. I would say yellow is perfectly fine. But if you need to spend 5 minutes to figure out if that was red worthy because he was the last defender back, then it's clearly not a red card. I kind of wish Instant Replay talked about it this week, but I guess they decided not to deal with that and everything surrounding it. But just in general, the Kansas City match, I feel like the referee, and yes, the Red Bulls were playing probably a little more physical than usual, but I feel like he wasn't being consistent. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to call every little thing, At some point in the first half, the Red Bulls should have gotten a yellow card, and honestly, we're lucky. We lasted, I think, until like the 50-something minute to get one. But then you can't turn around and I can't remember who it was, but whoever blindside blocked Nealis to the point, or I can't remember which Nealis brother, but one of them to the point where you literally have to call for a head injury stoppage, and VAR doesn't look at it. I mean, come on, like that's clearly something's wrong refereeing in terms of being consistent. It's not a new story, but it just gets frustrating at certain points of the season. It ultimately doesn't matter in terms of the fact that we made it out, but we did lose one of our defenders for the next game, so that kind of sucks.
Newsflash, everybody. Jay thinks the refs only screw over the Red Bulls.
Nope. I didn't say. I specifically said we deserved a yellow in the first half. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on the show
so
before
to follow up,
saying sort of stuff.
9:42, Pat announces he's leaving the game. At 9:58 is when we knew. I believe 9:58 is when they scored, when the Red Bulls tied the game, and then moments later is when they took the lead. So it was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
So if 9:48 is when he announced he left, I'm pretty sure it was like 2 minutes later is when they scored.
It was not long after that. That's for sure. I think when I had reached the sidewalk outside the stadium right when Atlanta scored, because I heard the and I thought it was a missed goal, and then you guys were like, no, Atlanta scored. I was like, okay.
All right. So likes for these two games. Pat, your first. What did you like about this one?
I'm going to throw it out there to the 16-year-old kid from North Plainfield, 2 towns over from where I grew up, scoring the game winner. You got to love that. You got to love that when you see a kid that young make such an impact in a game, and in such a dramatic fashion. Obviously it's one play and one game, but he certainly has looked active since he's been out on the field. So here's the hope, and we'll see more of that. But hey, hell of a way to start the career. So hats off to Goma, big time.
That was awesome. Wish we could have seen more of him in that second game in Kansas City. My like is going to be about that game in Kansas City because, yes, Kansas City absolutely sucks, but I think the Red Bulls they had to have been tired. They played so many games at that point. To go in there on the road, get a goal, go down a man, still hang on and win that game. Tolkien clearing that ball out, which was fucking awesome. Right at the end. I think everything was going against them. The rain delay, the red card. There was a lot that Kansas City could have gotten lucky. I was really fully expecting the lucky penalty call, like penalty kick coming at the end of the game, and they would tie it. But they know how to win on the road, and I think that was huge. And I don't care how fucking ugly they play. I don't care. They can play like the '94 Knicks every single game, play defense, play ugly, knock people around, don't give a shit. The results are in the standings right now, and that's all that really matters.
Who's our Anthony Mason?
Oh, man.
Or Charles Oakley? Or the cleanest has got to be John Starks. We know that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Nealis brothers are Oakley and Mason.
Yeah.
Aaron Long is Ewing.
And Long can be he's Ewing. Yeah, he's Ewing.
Yeah, there you go.
Long comes on the field, he's just profusely sweating, like 5 seconds in, just sweating.
He's already sweating. Yeah.
All right. My like, just the general kind of never say die attitude over the last 2 games. I think it could have been really easy for the Red Bulls to just, after that goal that Atlanta scored, just to be like, all right, it's over, we're done. It's not our night. We'll just conserve our energy and get Kansas City. They didn't do that. And I believe over the last few years, that was something that would have happened, honestly. Scoring, or the visiting team scoring that late in the game.
You saw it earlier this season.
Yeah.
You saw early in the year with the other team scoring, you're like, fuck. And then that was it.
Like, I think with Montreal did that. Well, that was also the Cornell coming out of goal thing. So, and then against Kansas City, like you mentioned, the weather delay, which I think ended up being roughly like 35, 40 minutes long. Playing on short rest again because That was their third game in 8 days. Like, these schedules suck because of the World Cup. Everything has to get a little compressed. And we don't have the depth to truly rotate the squad. I don't think most teams in MLS do anyway, but it still sucks either way. But for the Red Bulls to handle that situation and get 3 points in both matches is huge. And we've talked about it before. At the end of the day, all that matters is results. And right now, I'd argue we are getting more results than we should be. And that's a big thing. All right, afterthoughts. I have one, but I want to see if you guys have any first.
I got a few. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on this podcast, but do you guys know I'm not a fan of Patrick Klimala? Did you guys know that? Have I ever mentioned that before on the show?
I love that guy.
I've heard Gareth Bale's coming to MLS more than that, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. No. I know Truman doesn't put much of the blame on Klimala. I disagree. I do. I think part of the reason Tom Barlow's in there is because he actually gets in good spots to get the ball. The only problem is then he turns around and shoots it at our goal for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. That's the problem there. And then I guess with Klimala, with the rolling around on the ground at the end of the game, we had 7 minutes of stoppage.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, he had 7 minutes of stoppage, and now he's rolling around on the ground, like supposedly time wasting, and now we go to 10 minutes of stoppage. So you're not really wasting any time, because that's why they add injury time for people who roll around on the ground acting injured. Like, I can't. I wish the Americans in this league would tell all the people who come in here where that rolling around shit's okay. Like, if you actually want to sell the game in this country, you don't roll around like an asshole. Like, get up, get the fuck up, stop wasting time. None of us care for it. None of us. Like, enough. I don't care what team it's on. I'm with Shep Messing. I believe he said it during the broadcast, where it was like, you don't like to see that. You hate it. It doesn't matter what team it's on. It's just, it's ugh. It's full on ugh. You know? So, that was my big afterthought. And I had something else. What the hell was it? I don't know. Jay, go. Maybe it'll come back to me.
I was actually going to talk about Klimala's shithousing. I get it. Time wasting is a part of the game. Every team does it. If Klimala goes down and acts hurt, trainer comes on the field. If he pops up and walks off, okay, it sucks, but at least he argues part of the game. But I think he stood up and went right back down. Spent way too much time on the field. The stretcher was out there, and if you're really hurt, just get on the stretcher, get off the field.
Well, he wasn't hurt. That's
no. I know he's not hurt, but my point is
actually, I will say one thing about the stretcher. So the stretcher people looked fucking livid, and that was pretty funny.
Can you blame them? It's like the one time they find something to do, and it's like, well, what the fuck? You asked me to come all the way out here, and I'm not going to do anything.
Remember they tried to pull out the stretcher to force him to get on it because they're like, get off the field, you fucking mother.
Well, even the referee was pointing to it, get on the stretcher and get off the field. It sort of reminded me of, what was it? I think Marta in the Women's World Cup back in 2012 or something like that, where she ended up costing Brazil because it just gave the U.S. more time to get that last goal.
They added a minute or two or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, what if Kansas City had scored?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then all of a sudden that becomes a terrible idea because all you do is give Kansas City more time. You're lucky Kansas City is honestly as bad as it is. We could have been down 2-1 at that point anyway, but to give a team like that at home to let their crowd keep their energy, because you could argue that their crowd was almost out of it. You gave their crowd a chance to get fired up. You gave the players a chance to get fired up. It could have backfired tremendously. Thankfully, it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure Truman and I were both watching the Kansas City feed because of ESPN Plus, but I don't blame those announcers for getting pissed off. Apparently, Shep got pissed off too. At a certain point, I think I texted Truman this is just getting silly now, and it was ridiculous.
So my other afterthought actually kind of ties in a lot to what our voicemail was, that the team is in a very good spot. We have an open designated player spot. My grand scheme would be to get rid of Klimala, bring in a striker and a goal dangerous / creative winger. But if you are going to insist on Klimala, because I don't see him go anywhere, I would still consider bringing in a striker anyway, a designated player striker. I would still consider bringing in a designated player, goal dangerous / creative winger who can maybe send more accurate balls in the box and also create some chances of their own. I think we are at that point. I don't know if we're one piece away, but I definitely think we're one piece away from making some noise. Despite the fact where we are in the standings right now, I don't believe we're playoff dangerous. I think we have too many flaws, but I just feel like if we could get that attack notched up a little bit more, I think there's a real chance this team could do anything. Now, will our ownership and FO do anything about it? I'm pessimistic, but fingers crossed they say, hey, you know what? For once, we have a chance to maybe do something. Let's do it. So fingers crossed. Maybe it's a guy who's about to play in the World Cup that needs some time. He needs to make some guaranteed playing time. Even if we get him for 6 months, fuck it. It would be a wonderful thing. But again, I don't necessarily see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the forward position. I think that's the most desperate need right now.
Mm-hmm.
Barlow sucks, and Kamala's just not doing what he should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Barlow wanted a sub. You just groan. You're like, this is our best option at forward coming off the bench. And then we start games. You're like, oh my god, he's starting the game, so we're not scoring to start the game. We know they're not going to get anybody, but that would be sweet if they actually went and got a dangerous forward.
Maybe what they should do is just like write up some papers and like be like, oh, Vancouver, that was actually a loan for Brian White. You need to send him back. Sorry, our bad. We found the papers. It's clearly on 2019 parchment.
I can hear Jay typing his name in right now to find his stats.
Oh,
I know that's what
yes.
he's doing. I know that's what he's doing. Because I was actually gonna do it, and I can hear him doing it.
All I know is at
wants
least
to know.
One U.S.-centric podcast I listened to within the past couple of months mentioned him as a striker option for the U.S. So that's all I know about how he's doing.
All right, now I just got to find his actual. Okay, you know what? Why can't I find his?
Now,
am I spelling his name wrong, Kamala? Can I spell? There we go. I think that's how he's. There we go. Okay. Where's his career stats for Kamala? Career stats for White. Okay. I think I saw a thing about Brian White scoring in the Canadian Championship, whatever it is, for Vancouver, and it made me think about this. So, we traded Brian White.
For his stats.
We traded Brian White last year, right?
I think so.
So he has appeared in MLS play only 40 times for Vancouver. Anybody want to take a guess at how many goals he scored?
15.
Close, 14.
Okay.
And throw in 5 assists.
Yeah, it looks like this year he's not actually lighting it up.
No, 2 goals this year.
But point still is in the 40 games for Vancouver, he scored in MLS play 14 goals and has 5 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Kamala so far has recorded 46 appearances for the Red Bulls. How many goals does he have?
12.
Dead on, 12.
All right. And how many of them are from the run of play?
I don't know, but I'm assuming half of those are penalty kicks at least.
I feel like half of them last year were PKs. Yeah.
The only thing that Kamala has over Brian White is that he has 10 assists.
Hmm.
Now, this is the part where I should have brought his up too. The real comparison, I think, is Tom Barlow, right? Because
they're all better than Tom Barlow.
Well, yeah,
but maybe not.
But my point is, right? Those were the 2 guys who were synonymous in terms of being forwards out of the academy, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to really compare anybody in terms of who the Red Bulls should have gotten rid of last year, that's who you go with. So between last year and this year, 42, right? Yeah, I think it's 42 games. Want to take a guess on number of goals in between 21 and 22 for Tom Barlow?
5.
2.
3.
Oof.
Want to guess on numbers? Want to guess on assists?
0.
Yep.
1.
Big old goose egg on assists.
Okay. I was wondering if that wacky goal a week or two ago, Loquinas got, if that was that counted. I didn't think so, but I don't know.
But point being, in a year and a half to 2 years, Brian White has almost outscored our 2 top forwards.
Not a shocker.
We traded away the wrong kid.
Well,
I don't know who to take. I wouldn't know who to take in Barlow, but
yeah, exactly. I'm going on a limb. We wouldn't have gotten anything from Barlow. I'm still predicting MLS Cup, Barlow hat trick, and then I get the belt. No matter what my points record is, if Tom Barlow wins MLS Cup for us with a hat trick, I get the belt.
I'm not going to say no to that.
I feel like if Tom Barlow gets a hat trick in the MLS Cup final, everything's out the window at that point. Because I don't know. All right. Any other afterthoughts on these 2 games?
That was it?
No.
Okay.
Too much.
Prediction standings. So Truman is still in first. He recorded 3 points because he did get the Atlanta game exactly right. I'm in second with 14 points, so 2 back from Truman. I got 2 because I predicted wins for both these games. Pat, unsurprisingly, has 4 points because he's reverse jinx. Is working.
My strategy is working for the world, okay? It's working for the world.
The very altruistic Pat who's sacrificing himself for the greater good.
I'm sacrificing myself for you, the listener. Never forget it.
All right. Well, Pat will have another chance to sacrifice his chance at a belt this week when the Red Bulls take on FC Cincinnati on Saturday, July 9th, 7:30 p.m. I didn't check the Red Bulls website. I don't know if it's on MSG, but I'm assuming it's not on a national network, so at least there's that. Since he comes into this game a much better team than last year, they are entering the game with a 7-4-7 record, 25 points, -3 goal difference, number 5 in the Eastern Conference.
Who da thunk?
A huge step up from their multiple wooden spoon years. So predictions. Truman, you go first since you're in the lead. What's your prediction for the Cincy match?
I predicted Tom Barlow was not going to score a goal. How about that?
If that was an actual bet, that's the one where you lose money regardless what happens.
Shockingly, Cincinnati is 3-4-1 at home, 4-3-3 on the road. So I don't know. Fuck it. Red Bulls win again, 1-0. I don't know. Who gives a shit, right? Let's ride the high, ride the dragon. Just keep throwing out wins.
I'm gonna go with the win also. I'm not going with 2 or 1-0 because I can't be exactly the same. I'm gonna go 2-1. I don't think we're gonna keep a clean sheet, but as long as we win, I don't really care. So I'll take 2-1. I think it's gonna be a hard-fought victory though.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to go into a strong crowd there in Cincinnati. A much improved Cincinnati team. They are going to be missing a defender. So one of their starting defenders. So that's something to worry about. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're capable of getting a draw, but obviously, reverse jinx. We got to do it. So I'm going to say 4-3 loss with a Tom Barlow hat trick.
So now we're moving out of the realm of realistic losses into just fantasy losses. Is that what we're doing here?
Oh, yeah. We're just going crazy now.
All right. Well, one team that continues to lose is New York Red Bulls 2. They lost 3-0 to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Makes their record 1-3-13. 6 points, -24 goal difference, and shocker, dead last in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Man, what a way to go out there last year in the USL, right? Next match is Saturday, July 9th, 8 p.m. At Louisville City. And I put this for dumping ground, might as well do it now, because I think Creepy Taxi Steven Santos mentioned it. New York Red Bulls 2 fired their coach, who just last week said the goal of the team was to develop youth. Clearly, results matter, and he wasn't getting the results.
Yep.
Austrian Overlords were not happy with that.
And former Red Bull player Ibrahim Sagaya is currently named as the interim coach for the Red Bulls 2.
Uganda.
Yep. All right. Next up, Gotham FC. They lost 2-0 versus the Chicago Red Stars. That puts them at 3-0-5 on the year, 9 points, -4 goal difference, number 8 in the NWSL. Next match is on Friday, July 8th at 8 p.m. at Racing Louisville. All right. That leads us to the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
All right. So, biggest news in terms of the Red Bulls. Tyler Adams has been sold from RB Leipzig. He will rejoin Jesse Marsch now at Leeds in the Premier League. The big part of this for the New York franchise is that we had apparently a 33% sell-on fee for Adams, so we will get about $8 million of the 20 million pounds, because I don't know what I didn't do the conversion fee that Leipzig got for Adams.
It's all pending a medical. Just to point that out, pending a medical. So at least that's about the last bit of news I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
So clearly Leeds is now America's team with Jesse Marsch, Adams. Who was the New York City player that's now over there?
Philly, Brendan Aronson.
Well, no, I thought there was like Jack Harrison or somebody too. Was over there too.
Oh, right, Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison's over there as well. That's right.
So there you go. The Premier League invasion by America is officially underway.
Well, Jack Harrison's English, but yeah, he got his start here in the good old USA.
Sorry, for some reason I thought he was American. My bad. Okay. Still, there's 3 Americans, two players and a coach, and I don't remember if this is true, but I feel like Armas is an assistant there now too.
I think he did just get hired as an assistant.
Well, according to his Wikipedia page, he was recently an assistant with Manchester United, so I guess it's not official.
Yeah. That wasn't lookup worthy. It's Chris Armas.
No. Not worth the keystrokes.
So as of a month ago, there was a report that he was to join Leeds as a assistant. I guess it didn't happen. So, yeah. All right. Bit of good news. The U.S. has qualified in men's soccer for the 2024 Olympics. I think it's the first time. I don't even know the last time they made it to the Olympics, honestly.
2008.
Wow. Yeah. So a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they would have qualified for the Pan American Games too, from what I saw on Reddit. I don't know if someone was mentioning. I guess that was a qualification was through that the CONCACAF Championship for the U20s.
Yeah, U20 World Cup, I believe.
Well, no, not just the U20 World Cup, but there was the Olympics and then apparently the Pan American Games. So I don't know how that works. But
I didn't see anything about the Pan American. But yeah, the Olympic thing was something that I was like, wait, what? I was like, okay, I'll take that. And this is a way better way to do it than like have our like rusty MLS guys play a tournament in January. So I'll take this path to qualification for sure.
Yep.
Two Red Bulls were on that team.
Caden Clark and Daniel Edelman.
Daniel Edelman. So that's also a nice little caveat to this. And cool side story: Dominican Republic, by somehow making the final of the CONCACAF Championship and getting smoked by us 6-0, but they made the Olympics as well.
All right. U.S. women's team is currently competing in the Women's CONCACAF Championship to qualify for the 2023 World Cup. They won their first match over Haiti 3-0. They have 2 remaining group stage matches. First is against Jamaica on Thursday at 7, and then next Monday, July 11th versus Mexico. Basically, when I looked up real quick, if they finish top 2 in the group, they're automatically into the World Cup. So if they beat Jamaica, it sounds like they're in.
If they don't qualify, it'll be an even bigger failure than Kuva. So I'm really not expecting that to happen.
Yeah. All right. And then the last thing I have on there is that today RFK was literally on fire.
I hope they got the raccoons out.
I don't know. There was
got to save the raccoons, people. Start a GoFundMe for the raccoons.
Apparently, the fire somehow got started in the basement of the facility. One of the pictures I saw was the fire. The firemen were going in through one of the dugouts to put the fire out. They apparently drove the truck onto what is a really bad looking field at this point, which makes sense. It hasn't been used in like 4 years. So I was honestly surprised anybody cared enough to put the fire out.
Yeah, could save them some demolition money.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we can all laugh at DC for RFK going up in smoke.
And we will.
We'll always laugh at misery.
All right. Anything else before we move on from dumping grounds?
Real quick, I'm not gonna bring up the highlights, but just so you guys know, Red Bull still sits 1 and 2 in the Formula One standings. If you want some crazy shit, go on the Formula One's YouTube page and watch their 7-minute highlight video because it is one of the craziest fucking races you will ever see.
I did see the big one.
It was some crazy shit. I highly recommend watching it. Highly.
All right. Anything else for dumping grounds?
That's it.
No, sir.
Okay. So now it's time for Pat's betting corner. And, of course, the soundboard craps out on me. So
that's some bullshit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I looked it up. To score 2 or more goals, you got a plus 2,100 odds on Tom Barlow. So I say put your money on Tom Barlow to score 2+ goals against Cincinnati.
Wow. Now I'm really looking forward to that game.
Okay, just because it's been a very long time since I've even bet on sports, which apparently sports books are now opening in person in Maryland. But so how does the plus 2,100 work exactly?
So basically $1, you win $21.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. With that, it's time for Truman's terrible team of the week. Nope. I was hoping it would work. It didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, terrible.
All right, so we could talk about LA beating Montreal 4-0, but I'm not. Because you truly suck when you're Orlando and you give up 5 goals at home to literal and figurative dumpster fire DC United. That is no bueno.
You know, that might explain why RFK went up in smoke.
Probably.
Yeah, they were shocked that just RFK just spontaneously combusted.
All right. Anything else for this week's episode?
That'd be all.
No.
Okay. Let's wrap this one up. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month is all you need for exclusive content, such as our monthly wrap-ups, live post games, anything we decide to do, like our Stranger Things Season 4 episode that will be coming later this week. And if you are a patron, it's been a while since I mentioned this, but if you are a patron, you'll get a specialized RSS feed, so you will not have to go into the Patreon app and listen there. You can just use your favorite podcatcher, put the RSS feed in there, and boom, everything in one shot. You can email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. If you want to call us, 973-348-5329 is the voicemail. Facebook.com/redbullrant. On Twitter, @redbullrant for the show, Dr. Stooge for myself, @the Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
Don't lose in Cincinnati. Just don't do it. I'm watching the Mets right now, and they can't score a run right now against the Reds. So don't make that mistake, Red Bulls. We have faith. You're going to keep the hot streak going, and you're going to go in there and then come out with a big old fat win.
Barlow, I've always believed in you. You can do it.
Yeah, Pat wants you to make him $21. That's what he wants.
I put 3 on it. Thank you very much. So I would make
Okay, $63.
$63. Thank you very much. Okay.
Sorry. All right. So for Pat, Truman, and myself, this has been episode 404 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bulls.
Later, skaters.
Blah, blah.